Was mute. Hello, hello, guys. Hello, Rodrigo. Hello. Okay, Sami. How are you? Sami, I have downloaded your stuff also. Hello, Martina. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So now there will be yours. Thank you. My mic was muted. So yeah, we will look into the files you sent last time. Rodrigo, as promised, will look into the trim sheets. And as a promise to Edward, we're going to look at some sculpting. Okay. Not going to be like full detailed workflow showcase, but rough idea. So if you still have doubt after the explanation, just let me know. I will try to explain it further. Okay. If it's not make sense. Okay. Like Edward, don't worry. Like it's gonna be much quicker and easy for you. Like I was planning to start with the sculpting first only, so we can do it. So let's give like 5 minutes for everybody to join, and then we just jump in because we have a lot of to capture and cover. So what I'm gonna do, I'm thinking I will write down the things we have to do. Okay, so I will write it down for you guys. Okay, so just remind me if I miss anything. Okay, so here's our scene from lesson. I didn't do much, but just polished a little bit this thing, little bit played with this shader. Like I still don't like it. It was like too shiny, and I'm still playing with it. But there is much more happening. There's one thing which I found out. You see this flickering happening here, and which might not be seeing here. I try to look online a lot, and let's try play and see if it happens in the real time. So yeah, so you see this is there's a flickering happening in the further tree. So if you look closely, you might see it here as well, inside the shadow part. I try to turn off everything. I don't know what it's coming from, mainly, but there is a one technique by William Foucher, if you don't know, wonderful YouTube channel about lighting and rendering and photogrammetry. Wonderful stuff. So one he suggested the screen percentage, right? So we're currently at 7. So before you make screenshot, so basically you can make it 100. Okay, it will make things slightly better. And then there is scalability setting to put it to cinematics. Now if you still see it, he suggests rendering at 2K. Like when we do high resolution screenshot, we do it to double the resolution, right? Something like that here. Like if you make it double, just be careful because it can crash the system so quickly. So when you do it 200, it's gonna lag my system also. But what it is doing, it's rendering now at 2K. So I have. So now you see it's much lesser because the 2K resolution, right, currently in this screen, which is really heavy. If I just show you, see, it's gonna be super heavy. But it's like when you're gonna render it out, then I can send you the link to the clip, which where it shows this thing. Okay, so you can do it, but overall, I say just keep it, you know, enough so your system can handle. So now you will see it is there, and sometimes you will see in the shadow also. But yeah, just so our scene runs smoothly, so that's why we keep it. Okay, so you know the drill. I will not do the same thing today, so let's just leave it. I will do it at the end. Everybody knows where things are happening. So let me fire up ZBrush and bring my tablet so quickly so I can showcase. Um, what to. Just let me grab my pen tablet. If you have it, wonderful. So I showcase the sculpt with that. Oops, that's my flimsy monitors. Hmm. There's not nothing fancy. I have this tiny one. I don't need more than this. So any simple one will be fine to have. Thank you. So, and I also at one point like I was trying to use the whole PC using tablet, like not using mouse at all, which was crazy. And it's actually good for hand. Otherwise, you use like that. There is this sideways mouse basically, which have resting your hand. And this one was good. Like you can use everything. Maybe like as an experiment today, I should do everything by pen. I'll show you. Like I'm now doing using pen. We'll try this as an experiment. Gus Hunter? I don't know. Chaos. Are you telling me some anime to watch? Okay, so if I get first, let me see. I will open. Let me open. I have Blender on the other side. Ah, okay. What language it is? Sound like German. Is it different? Hmm. Let me open up. My rocks are there. I can export. So Edward, are you here? So this is for you. So what we can do, we can simply uh, start with polysphere. Anything is fine actually. So you can do it from open it from here also. So the dynamic sphere. Awesome. So basically, like we have basic shape. Like if you want to start from scratch, I would say like this. Like we last time created rocks. I hope it is here. Yes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Where is it? Oh, it's so far away. Okay, you see here. So this is like procedurally made. Look, we had a cliff also. Is it cliff here? So this is basically, I think, everything is here. So you can rewatch the old one. It's basically we use noise, but you can use uh, height map from mega scale. So what you can do, like you roughly have this shape, right, with noise. You put your displacement map on top of it. You get some rough picture of the cracks. So I always like this. It helps you, not use brain that much if you're starting up, especially. So you get the shape. So you can in there. So basically, if you have reference, that's perfect. But if you want a generic rock, you can use stencils and displacement map overall applied and just apply on top and then just detail based on that. So I will explain a little bit in that. Okay. So yeah, so this is the basically we made using bunch of noises and everything. You can use this and good enough base. But imagine like we want to make, so just keep it less is fine. Okay, so okay, it's gonna be pain. Okay. So so you first try to get the shapes basically what shapes you need. Okay, so you try to make like have a low poly mesh. So you just move it around and just dynamic it. I will say like I will just roughly make a pokey shape, and it's not like you can nod like later on also you can simply drag and drop and make shapes simply. So imagine like we have a rough shape, we say okay this is we are happy with it, and then you can subdivide it further, and even in dynamesh we'll give it a bit more resolution. So this is much more detailed. Now here comes the fun part basically when we need to put more details. So basically you can use flatten also. So you can use flatten and you can make these faces as well. Like you need to create these faces, like these type of sharp corners everywhere, and that's like most basic one. Okay. And you can get, and then you have trim dynamic and trim adaptive, which does the same thing, kind of making these flat faces, and you can press alt to fill in the some gaps also. So this is basically you try to create all these faces around simply. We just need these low polygon, so like there are these low polygon things. So basically something like that look we need basically surrounding. So but like try to make like some big faces, big surfaces, and then some tiny ones, and some in between stuff like that. So the different faces. So once you have this, and this is you can try print trim adaptive also, but I will transpose brush trim. Why brush t. Yeah, that's cool. Why is trim adaptive? Where they changed it to? Oh, what? I remember. So it's I now. Adaptive. It should be A. Transpose. Who cares? Transpose should be TT. I believe that is like much easier, no? Whatever. Like I again like I won't claim like I'm best at sculpting, but I can just I know when what to get done when to. So this is like the basic there. But then there are some good brushes which are not default, which you can use to do. There are one is trim smooth border. Okay, trim smooth border is same. So you it works similarly. You see, so you get much sharper. So you can simply get the faces much more crisp. And then there is orb brushes. If you can, it's free to download. You can find them online. Okay, and then there is orb flatten edges, which is it will get you this more crisp. It's a bit stylized, but it gets you these much more better shapes in there. Okay, so once you have these, imagine like these shapes, you just keep playing with that, and you can alt and fill it as always. So once you have this, you have these faceted look, you're happy with the overall shapes and then your formation. Like see again, like your formations and the type of these faceted areas you have to decide. it based on your locality and your references and what type of rocks you are making. Like imagine you are making sand rocks. Sand rocks don't have sharper cliffs, they have more roundy shapes. But when you need to get to details, you can use this. But the shapes you have to decide and you have to achieve first before even jumping into the crazy part. You see, it's creating this sharp thing. Now, once you have these faceted look in your, and you feel like, oh yeah, I have healthy balance of large, medium, and small faceted look, you get back to trim smooth border. In alpha, you add square alpha. Okay. Now let's get more crazy. I'm gonna increase the resolution to full. Okay. So it's almost, we are finally in the million route. So now if you gonna break, so you're gonna get much more, detail in there. You see. So now you can chip off the layers. Basically, you can create, alt click, and you can make the layer, and you can normally, like here, I can make and I can break. Okay. And I can simply keep making layers if I want. Okay. So basically, you get much more fidelity in there. And if I want to fill in, I have again other tool in my dispose also. Don't worry about these squares and everything. So this we're gonna remove afterwards. And one, as I said before, if you don't know how to put, where to put what detail, what you can do, you can, if you have your model unwrapped, if you can just unwrap it. Okay. And then it comes under displacement map, and add a displacement of your rock from Megascan or any online place. Like imagine like I have this, so you can always don't have unwrapping. So basically, if I try without breaking it, create projection, Q cylindrical. Where is box? Let's see if it is. Ah, come on. So let's not waste it. I know it's gonna. You can, what you can do. What? Let me just quickly get. Okay, so just creating poly groups. So I can simply try to quickly unwrap it. I hope it get quickly. Yeah. Any. So for let me quickly get the camera chat for now. Martina asks, I noticed Blender had less brushes. I wonder if it's possible to achieve this look with it. I have the same question. We can try. I did not find this fidelity of brush in there. I tried actually, honestly, but I did not find the brush with this level of damage and control. Of course, Blender gonna have less because very young tool compared to ZBrush, and ZBrush have totally different methodology to handle polygons. And Blender cannot beat ZBrush, but like normal damages and everything, you can still do. But I'm still looking for it. Right, once I have this experiment done, I think then I can share. Okay, let me, maybe next week. I will do some experiment because the talk I gave, I was really curious about this pipeline because for this we get to ZBrush. We already have some model in Blender, right, for this one. But like to sculpt it, I don't think we have this edge damage and everything. I tried getting orb brushes to Blender, although Orb also provided it for Blender, but it did not work basically. So I'm still trying basically. So did it? It's still unwrapping. So let's give it a small while. So meanwhile, we can what I can do. I can look for rock texture. Okay. So just give me a sec. I'm just looking on our the same library we found raw catalog. So that was a good one basically. Yeah, there's one. Yeah. Yeah. Mhm. Almost finished. Yes, Sami, I also want to. I promised it in the Blender conference that I'll try the ROG pipeline. The exact same pipeline we use three different tools. Like we use Substance Designer, we use Substance Painter to create masks, we use ZBrush to sculpt, and we then blend it in Unreal. I thought like I will showcase the whole pipeline inside Blender, the gamer pipeline, like without using any other tool, trying it out. Normal prop I tried, which was a success, I would say, but this one is still uh, a big question. So I am just give me a second. I'll show you. Come on, get that. So basically, I have downloaded this here. So this is from the same raw catalog. So this is the displacement map we're gonna use to drive some detail. It's really quick, as you can see. So it's gonna give us a bunch of surface detail, which we don't have to sculpt. We can simply mimic. Mm, would have been easy if we would have, you know, reduced the polygons and did it. So if we want to try while we are here, so I'm open to try it out. Where is the optimal? No, it's not that thing. So I can apply all. Oops, this. Yes. So it's unwrapped. So I'm gonna import displacement. Okay, and when you can turn, okay. So this actually asks for texture also. We can give it this one just for placeholder. So now you can give it intensity. You see, you get something. It's basically the UV also, like you can scale it and scale it down, but you get something and you can apply and see how much it is. This is because of UV. But when you're gonna bring, you're gonna get much more better. So we can say, okay, point 5 is gonna be much more harsher. Uh, but when you apply, you're gonna get bunch of details. Yeah. So what we can do, like without caring about this, now we have our trim smooth bot already. We can simply let me dynamize it. We can basically make it a part of it. So without, even if it's there, we can. So at this stage, what we have to do now, we have to reduce the detail. Like, there's like a lot of detail now. So you can reduce the intensity, basically keep it less, and you just start smudging the details. Okay, so we don't want to see these micro level details on there. So it's if you have, if you know Substance Designer, if you get you can get SBSAR file from the this raw catalog also. Okay, so you can basically, reduce the detail there, export the height map again, and just simply, yeah, that means increase the intensity for this. Okay, so basically it became the, yeah, so basically it was not optimally made, but again, just to showcase that you can get away with, and you can dynamize, but you have to make sure to, settle the details. So you cannot keep this much noise, but you get a stencil basically, which you can simply treat it based on that, like here, like you, then you make it a smaller, this brush smaller, and then you go into smaller detail. But these, all these detail we don't need. Okay. So like much calmer surface detail, and you can alt click to fill in the gaps also. Like if you want to make larger damage, you can definitely. Okay, so you will start to get much calmer area. Why? Because we're gonna use tileable texture on top of it. Mostly all the cliff and rocks gonna use the tileable textures, and that gonna help us basically get these micro level detail. Okay, micro to macro level, basically you can call. But what we need is basically you use this as the stencil to drive these unique details basically in there. So some details you want to hold on to, like here you see there are layers, you can hold on to these, but you reduce these micro details, and you can keep dynamishing it to reduce it. But when you will look it from a distance, you'll see these areas are much cleaner. Like imagine, like if I do it here. Okay, don't worry about like these looking very flat and without detail, because that's what we want. Because we can use the exact same displacement map, which we have the textures we have downloaded, and use them as tileable. So that way we will have similar looking detail on high larger scale, and similar level details we're gonna have on smaller scale. Okay. So basically, this is like basically the quickest way to get the details. Like if you don't have, and even with the blender, like you don't need to sculpt. Like similarly, we use noise to get the different layers and details. You can use displacement map. These maps as displacement map. But the only thing is that again, if you have unwrapped, you're gonna have this type of problem where it's gonna become exploded. So that you have to fix. But other than that, it's I use this method so many times. Just quickly you can get done with your skull and reduce the detail. You get so many unique details, and you can don't need to use that much of creativity. But again, like if you want to learn how to sculpt from scratch. Yeah. And there is a really what we call a dilemma basically, because people have alphas, they have brushes to get all these details. But if you really want to learn how to sculpt some details, then make everything from scratch. Like all these detail, try to make it using simple brushes, not alphas, but brushes is fine. If you use a trim smooth border, and there is another one I'll show just in a second. Okay, so just filling up this one, so that's become a part of it. And this is basically now we are reducing the detail. You see that we get organic. And if you go to brushes again, and you go to mallet, there is mallet fast. Okay, you can use any mallet fast too, and that also gonna help you with the damages basically. So if I showcase here in this area, you see it have, you know, a lot more damage, like wizard level. You definitely need to reduce the intensity. And see, so something like or brush which was doing, see we are reducing. And okay, so you get, oh there is alpha also. So yeah, so something to like trim smooth border to get those, you know, chisel flat faceted look. If you want, it can help definitely to reduce the dip. Again, like I'm doing with the larger brush. So you take the larger one, do the larger surface, and then medium, and then small, but no need to go to macro level, because that again, as I said, you can do it using your uh, tile bed textures. So those, if you're gonna keep it, then it's gonna look noisy. Again, the why we choose to, because it's gonna look noisy, and you cannot control it. uh, because we just need to control the larger level shapes and silhouettes. That's what we need to control in this level. And other than that, like on the smaller level, we want to control it using our textures. Then if we want to more noisy or less noisy, and like imagine we want some areas like like this texture had, some area have noise, some area have less. So that's the same thing you can control in the texture. Like some area you want more, or some area you don't want. So if you have underlining detail, it's gonna clash with it and gonna create much more noisy uh, results, which we don't want. Okay. So yeah, so this is basically the quickest way you can basically make any sculpture or anything. And for the people who are watching, you can get your any model. Like imagine, let's see if we have cube. Where was it? Like it was this somewhere we had no. Here if we take okay, so wait, let's append it so we don't lose this one. So we have this cube, and I will, you know, put bunch of subdivisions. Okay, that's a lot. So now you can imagine like this is your asset, like any asset. You just bevel it, subdivide it, bring it, dynamic it, and then you simply, if you know, damage it. Let me take smooth border or whichever you want to. Okay, so you add damages to it, and then dynamic and bring it back to Unreal to see how it look. So you can, if you want more, you can have more damages like that. Okay, and like if the basically it's all up to you, like how much damage you want. But basically it generic damage all over your asset. Basically you can quickly put, and simply you can, don't need to basically dynamic it also decimate it, but you can simply bring it as it is also in Unreal to see how it looks. Just export it and bring it to Unreal and see how it looks. After this, like you are free to, once you have this, I can add another one simply. So you have this, and this alphas and everything. You can simply move this alpha from here, and you make it smaller, and you try to smudge these squarey look basically on top of it. See? So this, the square look you are getting, so you can reduce it basically by simply smudging it off. So again, we are doing the same thing here. We're adding detail, and then we're reducing the detail. Simple. So, and okay, fill this. Okay. So we don't need that much detail anyway. So simply like that. So you get your simple asset detailed basically in there. So I hope this is, again, this was quick and showed multiple things. If it's not clear, we can redo it definitely. But I hope this is a slide helpful. Okay. And let's see if someone sent a comment. Mm, yeah, Martina, it's definitely, it cannot beat ZBrush, but I will try it out. Like if you can transfer these brushes to Blender. I did not compare it. I tried it long time back. Tried to compare the brush menu of ZBrush and Blender to mimic the similar result what we had get here in Blender. But I'll try. There is a lot of things again, like on vegetation side also. But if we add this, it's in there. But I hope, Edward, I hope this was helpful for you, and just try it out. If it's not, I can make a separate video. We can put it on the channel for you can see it on proper example. If you can send me your FBX and I can show it on top of that also, like how we can add details in there. And next time, when we're definitely gonna polish our rocks at one point, so maybe Martina, we're gonna do it in Blender if we find out how to do it. And we definitely gonna make our uh, church and bridge as well. So those also need details. So definitely we have some sculpting to do later on once we polish the assets. I wanted to do a polish pass on a search today also, so let's see if we have enough time. So let's go by the ZBrush. Okay, now let's talk about the good stuff. Let me open up the file. Wait. So we had Rodrigo, and we had environment assets sent by Sami, and we know uh, Milan asked what Milan asked last time. So to give you a quick idea, let me create a new one. Okay, so we have all these techniques which we have, basically materials or textures or tileable textures. Basically when we have a set which is larger than that, I will tell you I'm not sharing it. Okay. So how we can find out when we need unique textures and how we need tileable, when we need tileable, uh, when we need tileable textures. So we discuss a little bit about textile density, right? So imagine I take monkey. So then I will add subdivision, shade smooth. So we have a good looking asset. Okay. And now if I go to UV editing, so this is how it's mapped. Okay, so unique. Okay, and I go to textile density add-on in my MX everywhere. It's there. Okay, which we use. It's a free add-on. You can download it. And yeah, Edward, like you um, you can you take your blob and you can just simply run these brushes as suggested. Just run once through them and just see the difference, like how it looks. Just run the trim smooth border normally, and the orb edge smooth border brush may get this chisel look, and then use the trim smooth border with alpha and mail it fast to get this chip off on those sharp edges. Okay, and just see how it looks and post the screenshot in there. If you don't, then just recreate from scratch. It's not a biggie. It's a learning process. Is it more than a meter approx? Yeah, we that's what we're gonna discuss basically. So this one is 2 meter, right? 2.5 meter, 1.5 and 2 meter almost. Okay, so it's a bigger set. So if I come here and if I say like, oh, we have um, texture size of 4K. Okay, if I calculate, this is giving me 14 pixel per centimeter, which is more than 1K. You can imagine we are going with 1K per meter texture density. So this is good enough. Okay, so with a 4K. But imagine we don't want to use 4K. We want to use only 2K. It's went to 7. Okay. So with that, what we can do at this stage is basically maybe overlap. Okay, so we can take one eye, overlap it on other, take one side, overlap it on another half. We definitely saved a lot of space, and we're gonna get a lot more. So if I imagine, I can simply, okay, so okay, doesn't matter. It's tidy. So delete it. So now if you see, we have half. I will select and I will, we have UV packer also. So we'll pack it simply without worry too much. And now I calculate what? Why it is still same? Should be more, no? This is also same. That's weird. And if I say pack, we packed. Yeah. So it's 9.5 now. Almost 1K, right? So this is if we pack it much better and more looking at it and try to fit more in there, then we might get a little bit more better. You so almost 9.8, so like we improved a little bit. Okay, so like that you can get now we just mirror it, so we still handle it. But what if we have more bigger prop? We cannot fit it inside the UV space, and we have let me see how Rodrigo's assets look like. We have these assets also. I don't know what all these are. This is how it is. Okay. So Sami, if you're still here, what I was talking about here is basically you can oh, there is a space behind here. Oh, okay. If I I thought there is no space here. That's weird. Like I felt like in your concept there was no space here. What I was saying, like you can take this platform and then you can make a space here to get to this place basically. You know. So now you have from here to here you have a space basically going there. But imagine if you have some stuff like this which you want to, and we definitely cannot fit them in unique space. So now our and it is longer also, which is if I calculate these, what very small. What it's scale we have to apply. Yes. And why? Let's not use that. We got all these, and we calculate. We got very less. And even if we come and we say let's overlap all of them and scale, and there is not fit to bound. Yes. Like imagine like we manually scale, we fit it to the bounds, top to bottom, and we still calculate the density. It's still 1 point. It's still very less. So our best option is to scale it. Okay. And if I calculate, we got it. Okay. But it is really tall. So this is where like our trim or tileable textures comes in. So basically, you what you can do, you can do it in the form of trims, not exactly the trims as you're supposed to be, but basically some different textures tiling horizontally, not vertically. Like imagine you have wood, metal, and painted wood or rusted metal, basically, so for the grids and everything. So what you can do, you can map like these like point these two grids have wood, these two we have broken wood, these two you have metal, and this you have rust. And at some point what you can do, you can make three gradient also, like painted and then slowly some rusted and then fully rusted. I did that once with the one asset where you need this detail at the bottom where it's more damage and then it's not. So what I did in the tileable texture, the half top I kept fully clean, and then I made a gradient basically. So whenever I needed at the bottom, like imagine here I needed bottom, so I divided into three. So the whole texture was mapped like this, but this face was mapped on the area here as well. So that helps define the tileable and the detail where we want to. So now, so whenever you have larger set which you cannot fit inside a unique texture or any prop basically, then you need to use tileable textures. And not always you need to use the tileable texture. Imagine like you have uh, why I'm sharing this gradient technique is memory reasons, right? So imagine you if you need to blend it up, then you need tileable texture which is fully clean, tileable texture which is half damage, or maybe a third texture which is like more damage. And then to blend that you need noise masks, and then it's like bunch of textures now, bunch of texture sets which you can do with single texture set also. Again, that's like some memory technique which I showed you, but you don't need to. It's your personal scene, you can use as many tileable texture you want, and games usually have hundreds of tileable textures, so you don't have to worry too much about it. But if it's like one asset needs some unique tileable textures, we need to be creative. We can't give every asset a really unique textures unless it's a hero prop. Okay, so then it's a different thing, but we need to be careful. Now imagine we have I'll show you the this is the raw catalog which we found uh, last session. Wonderful, have materials perfectly perfect. So if I search wood, you have wood chipper which is awesome, and then you have bunch of others, like this is old wood type of thing. Hmm. We just need materials. Is there any filter to do that? This is good. This is also good. Okay. So this is like they are saying also like it's 1 by 1 meter, which is good. It's 0.5, which is really small compared to what we need. But we can go. It's like 1K per meter. We only so that's when another thing which I can say, like, so when you create the textures as a material artist, someone. So if we have texture less like 1K per meter, then it matters a lot because we are matching our UVs based on this texture density. Our textures need to match that as well. So we can download this. What? Did not ask anything. So just give me a second. I'm getting it there. Okay. So we get to Blender. Yeah, I asked a promise to send the box map also, right? Right? Or just remember. Okay, good, good. Let me see if I have box mapping installed. I will send in there. It's not there. Okay. So let's see if they have by default it. No, I don't think it's there. So let me install it. Just give me a second. I will send it in the chat. I remember last time also uh, asked. Mm, what, what did I install? Okay, so this is Otterbox. Okay, so it just simply give you this tiny add-on. So what it does, if I first come to shading and we are here. No, so it's basically the textile density is defined by you, okay, or by the team or by the project. So if it is 1K, then we used to use 512, right? And now we use 1K, and even some people might use more. And I've seen many people don't even care about it. In foliage, definitely nobody care about it, but I do. And people make scale up things anyway to any size, which is not good. So let me just quickly uh, get it here. So I'll show you. So this one, where is the diffuse? Let's go. Right, see this one. This is 4K. Okay, this is 4K texture size. Okay, and if we say texture density 4K per meter, sorry 1K per meter, that means if we have 4K texture, that should cover 4 meter of surface in a logical mathematics sense. And this is 1 meter, as they said, right? This is 1 meter surface in the real world. So if we want to export it exactly as per our textile density, then actual size should be 1K, 1024 by 1024. That's what we should export if we don't want to alter anything in this. That should be completely as per the textile density. So if in here I can image resample and by the way, if you don't know Irfan view, best. Okay, if you do half of the stuff which Photoshop you need Photoshop for, like imagine you need to invert the channel. So here you can invert the green channel and save it as a gain. And it if you need to change some color, some adjustment, you can do it here too. So you don't need Photoshop. I love everything. So a bunch of stuff, just basic macros, you can do it in this tool. So here you can save basically. Okay, and this is here, and then you can press S to save. And download, where is download? Word, download FPA, and it's here. So it's I will call it wood 1A. Okay, and you save it, and then you do the same thing with the this one. This is direct test. This is not open here. So tell me, guys, do you know how to find out what is OpenGL and what is DirectX? Do you guys know how to figure out? Like if you don't know, just let me know. I will explain how can you can easily find and differentiate between the two, because I was confused in the start. So I don't assume anything that everybody knows everything. So this is normal map. Okay. So I'm gonna save these two. So this is now 1K texture and it covers 1 meter surface. That's why 1K per meter is fine. So if we gonna export 2K map, then this should be tiling twice basically. Okay. We can keep the same thing but tile it twice. Then we export the 2K map. Then by 1K per meter texture density, this can justify its size, real world size. So let me get my two texture I exported. Okay. So go to base color, go here. You know. Now you see you have your thing here. Okay. So this is help you in the blockout side also when you need to quickly get the things done. So you come to your tool and you select it and you create six. Six is fine. Okay. 10 sides is too much. You click and it did something. Okay. So it created this cube which act as a projection for your things. So now we know how many are there. Like it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5 planks which are 1 meter. Okay. So now here how many we see? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 almost. Okay. Which is 1.5 meter. Is it? Is it? There is. Let me rotation. Okay. It's 3 meter. So if it's 3 meters, so technically this should cover 15 planks. This should show 15 planks in there. So first I'm gonna do, so that's why, because it's a 2 meter, basically it's 2 meters sphere basically, you can imagine. Um right? It's 100, it says 100, but it usually is there. So I will scale it point 0.5. Now you will see how many we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Perfect. Now that's where the magic begins. So you select all your horizontal assets, whichever you project, and you need to assign the material also. I can select, we'll select everything. Select this link materials, and why didn't? Okay, that's how it's more. You see, now everything will have similar UV. Select this projection, this one, and you just click and done. And this one is because it's a projection, and what you can do, one thing you can do here is you can rotate this one. So rotate Z90. This will not matter, but we okay. Okay, these are also aligning. Okay, same for this. So you have basically all the woodens basically applied, and I should have basically selected everything. And if anything not matching, then you have to duplicate and assign that one. It's a bit tricky. It gets what it does in the behind the scene, it create this UV project and assign these arrows. So inside these you have these empties which is using to direct. So if you duplicate, you can basically duplicate this whole setup and use it as separately. Like imagine you have this in different direction, because here it's not gonna align because it's a quick mapping. So, but when you have block out, you want to test your tileable textures on top of your assets, simply do this. Okay. As it was the 1K, if you have 2K texture, I think it would have fit perfectly on it without any scaling in the cube. But that's how you can basically find out how much you need. And now that's the fun part begin. This as I said, we did this. Now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take gradient, let's say, and this is the same thing we do in the Unreal. I'm gonna share it on the Discord now. Let me share. There is was the resources. Where did we make the resources one? I remember where we had resources. Was it in Feedback Quest, I believe, right? Where was it? Topics. Okay. In topic selection, we had this thing, right? So I'm gonna share it there. Mm, mm, mm. Box map. Where to go? Shared it on there. So it is actually available on Art Session. It was created by someone. Forgot the name. That guy. So yeah. So we have to do pressure coordinate. And oh, where is it? In fact, was it? Where's the mapping? Where's the mapping here? There is that I took. It is mapping. Okay. Okay. So now we can basically play with the gradient, like how it is. We can play with it. Normally it is there. Or I'm just overdoing it. Wait, I'm overdoing it. Let's simplify it. Okay. And I will take a noise. Okay. And I'm gonna assign it here, and I'm gonna say multiply. So now our would have some detail, okay, which you want to control basically. So I'm coming to vertex blending. So this is the technique. First thing we're gonna talk about is the vertex blending. Okay. So okay, chaos asks you don't, so I would love the explanation. Okay. So let me. So this is let me open up the other one also. So that the best and quickest way to find out is looking at the detail. Okay, so if you look at the same data, like imagine the dent. Okay, so to figure out, when you look at some details, maybe there will be bolts, or this is definitely a tip off. This is definitely a crack. So the cracks always go inward. Okay, so that you have to remember which direction the detail is. The screws comes outward, and the dents and the cracks go inwards. So now if I zoom in here and zoom in the same place here, right? You see where the light is falling. Okay, so if I go to image, show channel green, and in this also I can show channel green, you see what is the difference? One is here you see the light is kind of looking like coming from the bottom. Here it's looking like light is coming from the top. Okay. So if I look at this edge, you see the light is on the bottom plank. That means some light is on the top and falling down on there. And here is the bottom from the bottom. So basically, this helps normal map understand mm, understand how to basically do the thing. And there are two main channels in the normal map. You have green channel, okay, which is right to left. It will be same in both type of normal map, whether it is OpenGL, whether it is DirectX. It will be same for one. It will be right to left. It will always look like, so imagine we had this crack, no? So you see, so the light is on the left side of the cracks. That means it look like a moon surface. Like if you if you look at this such a way, so light is falling in this side, so that will be the same on both sides. The what matter is like this one. What is green channel? So the so this helps the rendering engine to basically fake the detail and how to bend the light on top of the surface, right? So whenever you have OpenGL or DirectX, you will see the details look wrong, basically, right? So if imagine we have OpenGL here because Blender is the rendering engine. All real-time engines use DirectX, which is like bottom to top lighting, but there is there. So I'm gonna bring DirectX. Okay. So I will just plug it in this, or we have another thing. It should be non-color. Silly mistake. Just remember in your thing also. Like I will zoom in close and I'm gonna show you. Okay. So I'm gonna make it larger. Okay. I'm gonna put this. You see something happen. So something when you will have light falling on top of it. Let me reduce the roughness. Okay. When you have a light, it's gonna look off. Okay. So your shading might not be correct. It's gonna impact your shading. It's gonna impact if your shading is getting fixed by the normal map. It's gonna impact that. It's gonna look wrong. It's gonna shade opposite. Basically, try to mimic like it because you have inverted normal map. It system gonna think that this is the top side. So even if your light is from top, it's gonna create highlight at the bottom. Yes, yes, yes. So we always have in Unreal we have this tiny checkbox in the texture section to invert the channel. But it's good to know basically, right? Where someone can ask you in the interview and about this, and you're like, what? And I don't know. And people can ask you why you invert the green channel. So that's you can explain it because we if we have OpenGL or DirectX, and then they go, what is OpenGL? And so this can help basically. Okay, so this helps with the rendering, and that's how you just look at the uh, texture and you see where the light is coming from. Yeah. If it's like from bottom, direct text. If it's from the top, it is OpenGL. Simply, that's basically it's this green neon highlight only you have to look at. And if you understand this, and you're gonna see if you see red from the bottom, you're gonna say this normal is messed up. This is not usable. Something is wrong because imagine like you use like we did the leaves yesterday. If you know, not yesterday, the last session, if you remember the leaves basically. So we rotated it. It's kind of messed up the normal map. So that's what we fixed basically in there. So red channel is in red, right to left, and green channel in green, like bottom to top for direct text basically. If it's like scanned diagonally, I think in Substance Designer there is a way to fix rotate normal, but it's really difficult to fix if it's diagonal and you make it straight. It's difficult to fix. That's why we create scan everything in the straight manner, so it's easy to rotate it 90-degree. But if you're gonna keep it like tilted, it's again another tricky space. It's really difficult to fix that uh, in real. Okay, so now this is basically you have noise on top of the asset. So I'm gonna basically simply subdivide to showcase the thing. And here also we can take vertex color. Vertex color. Is it color? Color info word. Wait, let me see. Object info. Object info. Object info have this color in there. Okay. So if I for now I drag and drop into the base color, So it's white because by default vertex color is white. So what you can do, you can come here and you have vertex paint. Is weight paint and here's vertex paint. So you have tools and everything you can fill. And what I can do, I can swap with X same, and you have, where is the bucket, and you can simply, come on, show me what you got. Okay, here we have to take a color attribute we already have. Does it not showcase? But it should showcase. Why? Mix synthesis. It should usually. Hmm, let's try. And if I take red paint, with, if I'm selecting the right object only, why it's not painting that? Is it, wait, I think there was vertex color. Hmm? Not even color info. This is separate. That's weird because it should kind of color attribute. Hmm. So you can select the attribute and let's see. Now it is there. So here you paint and you set vertex color and you have everything right. Let's get back and make it black and say paint set vertex color, it's black. Okay, and now this we can use as alpha here. So we say okay, factor is the vertex color and we go send it here. So now we don't have anything. So we swap and make it white. Okay, and then you can simply paint the vertices. Okay, and definitely you can have, you can control click and paint. So basically where we want the dirt we can simply painting the thing. So but the dirt is coming from the noise. Okay, now in some cases, if I remove this one I can simply make it uh, dark brownish. So now it totally depends on our vertex paint, like how much we paint. If we paint more we get more darker, if we get less. Okay, so that's basically, fundamentally you can blend multiple textures in there. Now one other thing we can add on top of it is we can mix these for now you will see how it works. If I just tell you, take the vertex color information from here and it will be, transferring till here. So that's why you see gradient. This one you don't have anything, this have one, so it create a gradient from this vertex to this vertex, simply put. Now we don't want to see those gradients. Okay, we want to see noise. So that's when we use grunge masks basically. So what grunge mask is basically three different type of grunges or noise textures clubbing into one texture, like RGB have three different noise masks. You can take it from Substance Painter. You have so many grunge masks, right? You can take any of them, export it, and club them together and use it. But like having three different type of details helps basically, and you can make your shader as complex as you want. But even if you want to make a simple one, so you can take a grunge mask or a noise mask or a noise texture or grunge texture, basically whatever you want to call, and then you mix it with the vertex color. So if I would take a vertex color and I take this and I'll say overlay, come on, and I will say okay, I want to overlay, and I hope you know what overlay does. It's basically uh, cut the brighter part from with the bright, cut the darkest part with the dark. So basically, it play with the grayscale zone, not with the fully white, not with the fully dark. It play with that gradient in between. So whenever you have a gradient strip going on, it's gonna make it much more interesting. So I'm gonna put this here. Let me put the fraction more. So now you can play with more detail and put more crisp detail in here and scale. Now you see we have much more organic, and I can make it much smaller. Okay, and if you want to remove something, you can definitely use black. Okay, you see, and from here also. Okay, you see we have much better, and the same thing goes now anything now. So everything have the same shader now. It's free and open to int protection now. And we just need to make sure it have color attribute. I think it will gonna assign when we're gonna do this thing. It assigned it, and we take the black first and paint set vertex color, so we don't have any, and then we uh, swap it and let me increase. We don't have anything, so now we're gonna do the same thing in Unreal also. Don't worry. So I was just explaining you here first. So this is one, which is more standard and most simple, most straightforward way to add details and things in there. With this is Milan with the number one is you use tileable texture with vertex blending. The second one is trim, which I little bit explained. Like you can use tileable strips with that, okay, and then you can use vertex blending on top. That is also fine. Okay, you're not using that many tile buttons. Imagine you have door basically can have its own, but you have these different strips and one metal and one wooden or one plastic. Basically, you can achieve all the different details in there, and then you can blend it. Now there was I talked about I will talk about trims because we have Edward also, Rodrigo also. So Rodrigo need to see. So we'll import his asset. We'll talk about that in there. Now that's the edge decals basically. Okay. And I do have this file currently, but if I show you guys on, just give me a second. I will show it on you. Do I have it here? Okay, in this, if I open this up, here the damage you see here is edge decal. Okay, this one. It's basically a trim of damage, basically, and then it's placed on a L-shaped geometry on top of it. So it helps us figure it. Like here, you see, it's not in there, so it's just faking the detail of damage. So if you see here, it's basically a straight face, but if you see from the front of it, it have this damage. I can show you the file also next time maybe. Yeah, have it right now. Okay, so basically if I okay, okay, so this one is kind of something like that. So what you how you can create it, if I show you the, simply you take this L-shaped geometry, okay, and you sculpt it basically. You sculpt and put the damage. Similarly, we did the rock. You do here, you create some damage thing, and then you place it side by side here, and you bake it basically. You can have bunch of these damages or decals. You bake it in one sheet. I will definitely show you next time in there, and yeah, if we have some time left later on, we will show you manually. I will look for the file and I will show you in there how it look. Okay, so imagine I can quickly show you here. What I'm going to do is, and we have clear shot, and I'm going to remove this one. Let me, okay, so we have simple imagery. What I'm going to do is bevel, or let's see, if we take this vertices and we put a vertex group and assign and put 0 in there just to showcase quickly. And if we put displacement now and we use the group, it should act only on the corner, and we make it clouds. Okay, so this is basically, okay, so basically we create like I just quickly try to showcase. So basically it will be straight, but it will look simply damaged basically in the view. So simply you can get some detail like something like that. Yeah, so it will look like that. Just bear with me. Okay, so much more. So now you can bake and you can sculpt this also. You can bake it and simply use it, and then when it's gonna be placed, where is the, so when you're next time gonna place it here, okay, so it basically gonna act like that. Link apply, copy link materials. Okay. Okay, so like that. So you're gonna have, no, just see, okay, it's not big, but you see some shading thing, and we can add weighted normals. See, so this is the sharp edge here, and this is basically something like that. It's like basically trying to mimic in here quickly. Yeah? I'll show you the file, so if we have time in the end. Yeah, so this is how basically you can keep the simple. You can still do here. You can clear sharp, and you can simply put one and then use weighted normals like that. So you see, like you still have it, but it's straight. But with this, you can get this variation on the edge really quickly. It look more organic and more damage. But like of course, like on the side, this is like this, but it will not be. It will look flat for sure. But that you can improve by adding vertices and moving it around. So this is basically the mesh decal, the mesh decal I talked about, and the third is the basically decals which you can definitely place in there, and then we have trims. Okay, and before jumping into new thing, I want to see what Rodrigo said, and hmm, what which format is it? It's OBJ. Yeah. Yes. Diamonds big. Is it supposed to be this big? Yeah, this is good. I think this is mirrored, that's why. It's okay. Rodrigo Cool outside. Why? Is it does it have a material different? Okay, so Rodrigo also sent me some good stuff. Okay, for this. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so this is so for this. Yeah, yeah. It's we have to time. There is a lot. There was something to remove all them, but what? Why still? Wait. I think it's a mesh normal thingy. So what we can do in normal clear. Yes. Yeah. Now, uh, so this is what you have is for window basically, right? So in here, this can be one trim, which is definitely is visible like different there. This also you can achieve with the same trim, but just add a geometry rather than creating another trim for this tiny section. Okay, this middle part is unique, and these uh you can simply model maybe, but like, if you want to create this separately, I believe you can map it on top of these also. Again, these tiny corner tiles. Yeah. And then this one again is could be a geometry with tileable texture same, and if you have a tileable texture, so basically we can see this one brick texture we need. This definitely we need. But I was more interested in. Can you quickly send me a photo of this because I want to do more. Like because there are these windows and everything also. Here this is like a simple like you have basically one brick texture and you can simply map it and it's not. While I'm looking for the brick textures to just showcase the mapping, can you quickly share the reference for the upper windows also? Oh, this is beautiful. Hmm. This is good. Done. Ah, it's linked through there. 3 meter also. It's good. Diffuse displacement. We don't need normal tactics. Good. Okay. Did you send me? Anything is fine. Mm, okay. What happened? Went crazy. Basically, I was interested like to see all these because it's already you have modeled these, so it's easy to map them like these all these into different texture and the behind these one into different texture. Like if you have already modeled it, but I believe it's best to model it anyway. So these see you have these wooden columns, right? Which is good enough to this thing. Do you have all the textures finalized? You have already modeled. Like you just assign the tileable texture, I believe. Then you are ready to go. Just we're gonna test it. We found a good texture on there. This one. So we can download it. Oh, we downloaded already. Mhm. Okay. So this we're gonna sort out. But overall, I believe if you just put tileable textures and these ones we can talk about. See these here you have these details, right? There you don't need to. You can keep it because it's a hero prop and it's not a lot of geo. You should look at the Uncharted example, the amount of polygons they have used. So polygons are not an issue. Like you have a really good topology. It's not that many polygon to be honest. Yeah. The only place I believe I'm seeing some detail are these places, these ones, and if you have similar details somewhere else, because this is simply geometry, and because if you try to just we don't need these extrusion, we don't need. Okay, you can keep it planar. The sides you can remove basically. Okay, and just keep it slightly above the surface so we don't have z fighting of the surface, but planar will be fine. Okay, like our mesh decal, not hiding it. Why it's taking to time? It's not even that heavy, right? So then you just assign a different material to it, basically. If I knew wood trims, I will call it. Okay, I think everything gonna have the same, and this is the first one. So and we just give it, and now we assign this to. Yeah, so simply it nobody gonna know. Nobody gonna know simply. Okay, so with thickness we don't need, and you can keep if it's all up to you. But if you need to create the trims, I'll show you one thing I used in the out of order. So what you can do, you can take our duplicate this one, move this thing. So this is one trim. Then we have these windows which might have this uh, nice looking details. Like this one, it seems like have. So I'm gonna select this, move it here. This window gonna have, might have this one. If it's different one, so you select this one. It's not the same. Yeah, so what I'm doing, I'm taking out the mesh decals basically. Basically, I'm show you this. It's not really optimum, but it's like same. Similarly, this you take this one, and like this you take out all the geometries which you feel like okay, these are different type of trims we have. Here we don't need to, which we can simply. Why it isn't connected or what? I think it's not connected. But what I'm meant to say is that you take out all these trims, different details you have in here. What I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna make it take all the first. Let me separate them out. I don't know why it's taking too much stress about simple model. Okay. So you have it here. What you do is basically make a 2 meter version of it. Take this one. We don't need too big, but just 2 meter again version of it. Once you have all these, right, so you treat them as high poly. So you make a high poly and make the low poly and bake it basically. So you keep this L shape, but you can bake it on basically a planer, basically a strip of it. And this one, imagine you decide to make a high poly version of it. This one again, I can show you if I find the files. I did this in out of order. So if I again go to my portfolio, out of order here. So here, all you these streams and everything you see, these were made high poly. This, and then I created the low poly mesh, and I just mapped on top of that thing. So it is mesh. It's not just texture tiling. It's just mesh also. Need to be have this detail. Basically, you see these two lines are in mesh, not in just normal. So then, if you see, there are like tiny level of for damages and everything there. I will show you the file afterwards. So imagine this is the hyperlink. You simply select the edges and you bevel it. Yeah. And you do all the you take it to ZBrush and put damages and all the details if you want to, and then you take low poly version of it. So we don't need these inside edges. It will be much simple. You can take a flat geometry. Okay, this is not joint. So you take this is low poly and this is high poly basically, and you bake it on top of it. This is similar, but with the sculpting and damages. And then you take this geometry and you can map it on top of spline, or you can manually you know turn it and place it there. There was a bunch of good scripts which help you, but even if you have these scripts, these trims, what you need to do, just simply take them. Like imagine these are a different one. And here, wait, face, and this is the third trim basically you want to add. Not till here is fine, I believe, because you can map the same thing here as well. So basically you have bunch of trims, then you bake it and you get it. And then if you have mapping issue, then we can see I did in a mockup version of only flat colors, and then when I tried to align it with the UV, I couldn't do it well enough. I was afraid I would be too much stretching. Stretching will not be there if you scale it properly. Okay. So there's I think preserve UV is there in Maya, right? In here, what imagine like you want to create the same thing from here. You want to create this. So one is like one manual method, like you simply select, you duplicate it, yeah, and you place it like this. You map it and place it like this, and then you duplicate it again. Wait, rotate. Okay, rotate it like this. Move it to the place, and like Maya have preserved UV, so you select the bottom and you move it. Okay. Move it to the place, and then it gonna tile basically the UVs, and then you can crop it here in the corner, and then you match it and merge it. It's a little bit of work, right? But it you have trims. That's why I said like you can get away with a tileable texture. Will have much less headache. Like this, even tileable trims. You have geometry. Just use tileable strips basically of textures. No need to get too much into this much detail of things and then try to map it up. You have good geometry and just use tileable texture on top of it. Okay. And just to showcase that on the windows and everything, we have a good. I'm gonna separate it out because it's crying. I don't know why. So let's select this one. Let's just go with it. It's okay. And I will simply do shading, create a new one, and I will call it polygon. Again, polygon is not that big of issue, and polygon is good. You have a good polygon. It's not bad. Have you seen how amount of polygons they have in the guns? This is a big asset, so it requires the polygons. And imagine even you need to vertex blend. Definitely, you need blend, and and I will show you the wireframe of this our Uncharted. Man, that was crazy. The amount of polygons they have. Yeah, no, caps lock is on. Wow. Oops. So we have, and I'll just take the diffuse. Okay, so just quickly to do it. So right now we don't have anywhere. So I'll select this. I'm basically trying to map all of this, and larger parts basically, and even this one is fine. Let me go crazy with this. Okay, and I'll assign sandstone. And uh, it's usually we have more as Milan asked, like that if texture map is heavy or polygon. Polygon is always lighter than the texture map because texture map um is sometimes like imagine like with the because texture don't come in a single, it comes as a set. So if you have more textures, right, and then that's also a problem. So you cannot use like 20 different tileable textures, so that we have to limit also. That's why I suggested like tileable strips. So if it's like a tiny portion of the thing, then no need to basically use tileable everywhere for everything. Just make strips. Okay, okay. So I scaled it big, okay, because it was looking small. This is like with the box mapping. Okay, I just put the box mapping. I'm just putting the sandstone on the wall also for now, Rodrigo. So I know you have brick in there. Yes, yes. So that's why we reuse the stuff. Like if we can reuse the tileable textures multiple times in there, that is fine. But very unique tileable textures for very some assets is not good. And if you can use 20 different ones, but if they are part of global level, then it's fine. But again, 20 is like again 20 draw calls it's gonna cost. Yep. I applied the mapping on top of it. Now we can get creative here. First, hello Sine. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. But yeah, that's how. Even there are like so many artists who are not motivated to start even on this, and I will unwrap it. Okay, so basically we get a single piece, and then we can simply map it on top of something. I'm gonna do something crazy. Oh, come on. It's, I don't know why it is so heavy. Let me see. Like I think these are like, are these geometry like I think dense, too dense? These ones, these are too dense. Okay, so these one you can bake it on a unique thing, and then is it? These are like really dense. This is even these. So these all these part which are like really beauty, and these you can basically bake in a unique sheet. All these, and then it will be fine. This geometry and everything is fine. Like these all the topology is good. Yeah, so I mapped it there. Yeah, it's look decent, not bad. And yes. Yeah, yeah, it's like I'm moving things that is crying. And for these things, you see like these we have, and I'm gonna two key islands. Put it. See, it's taking a lot on things. And usually it's better to map it somewhere in the where you don't get you know the scene, like we have here, right? So it's covered. So like that you go manually and you cover it up here. So like for this example, this one, if we do this one and unwrap, and I normally unwrap them, so we get these thing. You select it, and I will straighten UVs. It taking a lifetime. Now I will just put it. Yeah, I know. I'm just being lazy. Is there's a lot. Like I have to select this. I'm being just lazy. Go ahead and do it. Let me just select what we need, and I would delete rest of those. Not delete, but separate it out from the main thing. Okay, that will be much easier than deleting those tiny parts. These windows will be different, so we don't need to worry about it. These gonna be, if it's gonna be part of the stone, but if it's gonna be part of window, you can have a separate. of things. Yeah, almost there. Okay. I'll just separate it out. Okay, so it will make our life easy. So we have this. Yeah. I just kept it so it don't look odd, basically. What? And this is the this part, this one. So I'm gonna keep it here. We already have some trimmy part in this texture. So I'm gonna just do this. Okay, so this is mapped and whatever. And I will what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna scale twice just to see how it looks. Simply we have this, and this one looks odd because this is here and it's really big. So what we can do, we can add cuts in there, so we don't need to tile it again and again. That's what I was talking in there. Here, oh, there's a hole in the wall. So you have some, there's cut, but I will select this vertex and join them. There is already cut here, so which can utilize this one. I'll select all these, especially this one. You can press Y and you can bring it down to match the line. Okay, something like that. So you have basically going, and this one same, and alt H. Same goes for these ones. If these are strips, it's better to have them as a trims. So these faces could be part of unique, or you can simply select here, and I will have all these, press Y, and I will move it to somewhere where I can place it where I don't mind. And I will press Y here also, so it's separate out itself. So we have these again, so we have to straighten these ups, so it's better to keep them as trim as you have kept these. Okay, and then you straighten them up and it's gonna look much better here as well. So if I let's try, we know these are these, so I'll select first, let me just separate it out here. Let's okay, and straight, where is, we'll just straighten UVs. Let's just keep it like this, rotate, and you map it on top of something you like, even if you want to keep it simple. And you select all these, diam, they're not welded. No, that's what. Yeah, it was not welded, so now it is. Not this one. Unwrap. Here we have. This is fine. So you can simply, what I'm trying again, what I'm doing here is simply separating out, making them straight, so we match them on our tileable texture basically. Yeah, that's totally fine. Yeah, that's what I just took it again. I took it as part of it. And similarly they have this design. So I'm gonna do it here. Same goes for this, or maybe the upper one. Here also we can map it if we want, here as well. If we have detail here, okay, depending on whichever is our. Don't worry about texel lens here this much for this. And yeah, I'll just map it somewhere where it feel happy. Okay, so yeah, you see, it's start to act like it belongs there. We don't have to do that, put that much effort, to be honest. And this we have already mapped. Yeah, hope this makes sense in there. Like, and then you can have different texture on different places, and definitely we need to cut and add if we need unique details. And yeah, like that. So there are like two methods you can use basically to do that. And last look, I will just open up with the chat window. Okay, so window wood, the house base is a mess the moment it cleared up. Yeah, so like you have the detail on top of the window, everything, so you can use the thing. Yeah, we use Hosini, yes, we used in there. So now I'll let me show you quickly in there. We are already on 2 hours mark, but it's okay. We can go. So here we are Unreal. Okay. So imagine this is our bridge. I want to add the same. Like I want to add wetness at the bottom. Okay. That's what I want to do. I want to add wet, something like that. Okay. So we can definitely do it by the shaders. Okay. So we go to the church materials and master. We have tileable. So I will duplicate it and I will say blend. I will call it bridge because it's for the bridge basically specifically. And I open it up like we did in the mm, blender. It's the same workflow here. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take a color, press 3, and this I use there is a key map thingy which, but it is showing on this monitor but not able to show it here, so I will ignore it for now. And then we have lerp is press and click, is lerp is basically blend between two things. So I take RGB this and I take this color on top of it. You can click here and you can say convert to parameter as color to blend. Okay, so imagine you just say okay, I want to blend this, and it's blending with something. And what is that? You say vertex color. Okay, you take it, and you have all the channels. So I will say I will take a red channel and use it as this lerp amount of this thing, and then I'm just gonna shove it in there. And it, okay, wait, we have to save it. It's gonna make everything black. Okay, so if you want to not make objects by default black, what you can do, you can if it is white, then it is this. You can invert basically. I think there is -1, I think one minus to invert the thing. Okay, so which inverts the thing also. Or you can invert invert color. Do we have? No, let's try with this thing, and you do this. So by default it is there, so it will not show anything. Okay, so we, if we remove, we put black, it is white. We have done it in some offices I've seen, because by default every object have white. So if you use white as a default, everything gonna berserk, everything gonna get black. So that's, it's a wise to use it. So now what we need to do is bring my content browser here, master. I can come here. Where is opening? Yeah. Okay, so you can simply change the master material from here also. Okay, so this is blend bridge. So it just you, because it's from the same schedule, and we get this color, its default is here. Now we just need to go and paint, and that is simply, you have mesh paint and vertex color. You can RGB channels, you can see if you want to. And did we why it is not letting me paint my object? Should let me. Hmm. Is it, wait, let me see in, but it's not the mesh thingy, but let's see. So if I go to this in the import setting, let me see what is the import setting in the vertex color. Hmm. Asset import, there is not. So let's re-import with the dialog where it is here. So vertex color is replace. So we can say we can ignore. Okay, and let's see if it give us. Usually it should not care, but if you are importing the vertex color from the model, then whatever you're gonna paint gonna be replaced by the asset vertex color. So just a quick tip. Okay, it should why it's not letting me paint, that's hmm. Now this is something, this is good, like there is two LODs is there, like we used to have a tool, we used to export it and then do it, and we don't need, why it's not letting me paint. Hmm. That's what, this texture painting now, look at that. But we don't want that. This is good actually, these all tools which were not there, but it should, why it is not, am I not, because this could be something. Hmm. I don't know if this is the correct way. Because paint, I want to paint black because I want to remove, and we only use red. And I will, oh, not here, I want here. And I want the, where is the strength? Fall of flow is here. That's a lot less now. That's a weird because this I don't want to see. There should be. I don't want to see the color. This should be option. Here, original material. Okay. So now we can simply add and remove and these vertex color here at the bottom to match it more. And because the water is coming from this side, this is a rock we need to fix. The same thing, if you have this shader, you can utilize this to add on the rocks or anything else also. But I think we can do this with the dynamic paint also, which again is like again a big topic compared to what we have. So imagine like we say, okay, this is good, and we are ready. Like we have only used red, so we can use more channels if we want to, and that we can do same with the terrain also. We definitely need that wetness around it. Why is the normal vertex color does not work is just make me furious. Again, yeah, guys, like I'm also learning. Like it's not. I just used Unreal Engine 5 as much as Unreal Engine 4. There's nothing. There is so much to explore and do. So sometimes frustrate me. I want to learn Plant Factory more than anything else. So yeah, so this we have basically something, and now we want to just add another feature in our material before we wrap this material thing up. In here, we can use the same thing to increase the wetness. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna duplicate this node, and here's our roughness. So it's, green. So green goes in here, and now this is again black will make it shiny. We take this as a lure and we put it into roughness. Okay, by default there was nothing happen, but I will show you here. Here, okay? Super wet. And if you want to control how much you want it to be, and you can say simply take a value. You can say okay, convert to parameter, say wetness, and you can assign that here. Save. Okay, by default nothing happened, but if you come to the material, you will get wetness here. It's the reverse. It should be again reverse, but that you can simply do. Okay. So yeah, so this is basically you can control again. Like we can keep improving this. If you need multiple texture blender, you can use multiple texture sets in your shader. You can convert them parameter and then blend them together. And yeah, that's how your materials get start to get crazy. But you don't need to. You can use Pixel Bridge. Pixel Bridge do it for you free. Its own materials are really good. The blending material don't no, do not. I don't have Quixel Bridge in here. Maybe next time I will install it and show you. But it's really simple. The Quixel Bridge is install and you pick some textures, even free ones, which is there, and just create. You're gonna create you a material instance, and you're gonna create the master material so that you can use and you can replace the texture and use it. It's really good. It have this displacement also. It have all the good lerping and the perfect stuff. So you just vertex blend and get different textures on different things. Okay, and yeah, so that's for this thing. As now it look more blended, but definitely we need some wetness that we can include in our terrain definitely. And I need to make. I looked at some tutorials for this thing. I did not like it because those all used a geometry, separate geometry. But I wanted to create geometry on the fly using spline. Like if I scale the spline, it could scale the width of it. Basically, a strip extruded spline. Basically, I wanted to make. So we'll see. We'll see. Like maybe I will not try to overcomplicate things and let it just go normally. Okay. So yeah, that's why mesh paint is here. Then if you force me to paint from here, remove it from there, no. Hmm, let's not bitch about it. Okay, so what's email? Yeah, so it's basically I showed in both and Blender and Unreal Engine. It's the same. It's a base. It's same. Just we are blending based on vertex color, blending details and masks and our maps. uh, Yep, Rodrigo, yes, go crazy. It's or how can you? The creativity is open to do anything. Shaurya Patel asked, "Hello, there. Can you recommend me some best Substance 3D designer tutorial for intermediate level?" I believe I saw some on Nvidia and some on Substance Designer's channel. Usually watch the streams basically. Um, Basically, depend also like what you want to achieve with the Substance Designer. Can you tell like what do you want to achieve with substance designer? Is it like organic, inorganic, something? Don't do Daniel Tiger type of stuff. It's useless. Creating train by substance designer, it never gonna be utilized. So that's not a good way. So I know as much as like I need to get some things done. So if you are trying to open the workflow like zebra sculpt and then you want to texture it in System Designer of making the maps, that's a good workflow. Or you want to make something from scratch, then it's there. Shape design, like which shape design? Like I don't know. It's not. Can you give example? Can you send a link onto Discord or something? Give me a word I can search now, and then I can search. Shape design is really broad. Kochina said, please for the vertex paint, do you need to have a big density of vertex on the mesh where you will apply? No. So if I show you the geometry of this thing, it's really not that much. So see, it's this much. Not that heavy. This is good enough. Even it can be less than this also, but this is fine. Unreal can handle. Okay. So you at least need some polygons, so you can blend the. You can assign the vertex. Even if I show you again in here, if in here, so you definitely need more than this, but it can be less than this. And you need some subdivision. Like even in this, you need to add more polygons. You need to add. Like if I add, so at least this much you need. So you at least have some vertex information, and then on top of that you use grunge masks as we saw before. You can use grunge masks which you can blend in to break that gradient into much more detail. Yeah. So I hope that makes sense. Just watch the recap as we covered a little bit there. Mm. So Rebecca, like you can ask anytime you are you can share in the Discord server. So let's do the drill before you guys go. Okay. So here is our academy page. Here you can join the Discord server. You can ask the question here as well. This is for portfolio review and ask me anything if you have any question, anything. And Hosine, as you like the video, like if you have any question, career related, motivation related, or anything philosophical, anything, you can ask anything here. Career related, if you want to grow, if it's a job related, art test related, anything, you can ask me anything. And just subscribe to the channel and share it with your friends so we reach to the more people. And we have, if you are from India, if someone watching is from India and working somewhere or worked somewhere, and then kindly fill this thing. We are collecting salary data for our Indian artists, so we can help all the community people and everyone to know how much salary they get. So people who are coming for the salary, they can leave and learn more things salary stream. And someone who is in the negotiation phase, they know what to ask. And here is the boot camp, which is still open. I kept it open. And if you can afford and want me to support, here's a mentorship where you get one-on-one session with me, and I help you, sort out doubts like this we did in the session, but personally. So yeah, so that is basically in there. And I still need to send a message. I did not. I maybe send it tomorrow. Okay. And then we can. I will really ask for your testimonials and maybe testimonial on LinkedIn also, if it's possible. So I'm gonna ask, can I send you the email? It's good. Others, like one person gave it, it's dropped, but it's good. No worries. Nothing is perfect. So yeah, so this is our tiny thing. So we will, until next time, we will keep doing stuff. And yeah, Zane tried to, like, wait, let me check. Let me also check. Hmm. Hmm. Not this one. I never. This is the first time I'm seeing this channel. Hmm. Send us with substance. But you want sci-fi and this thing, but then you have this really cyberpunk and more hard surface shape design. That's like easy. Like, I know for me it is. Let's mm, okay. That's good. That's good now. Because I know there was some here. I will share. So here on I searched substance design and NVIDIA. So this is what I watched. Heavier praise tutorials here. It was good. So here you see there are NVIDIA studios, substance tutorials. They are good. Love them. They have like go into crazy detail. But then you get Ben Wilson's ones are good also. Like it's full. But NVIDIA Studio overall, I love these tutorials. And I'm definitely no substance channel gonna have a lot more also. Like if you go to their official channel with Adobe. Okay. Okay. Yep. Yep. But I would say like jumping in is more like you know the nodes and then you just try out stuff with the this thing. I know like if this is a basic shape, you just use the shape node, blend node. A lot of shape nodes and blend nodes, and you can basically get a lot more stuff in there. You create mask and everything, and try to get the things done in there. So I think the shape nodes and tile node is your friend if it's sci-fi, because like if you, I don't know, like if you want that greeble type of thing, like basically those sci-fi panels which have a lot of details, if that type of sci-fi you want, or is some, so but share it on Discord, we can discuss. That's so cool. Yeah, that's good. Like I try not to get into tutorial trap Basically, you watch something, you create something. Or I which I recommend more is you start creating, and whichever issue you are facing, just look solution for that. That's way you create while you learn, basically. And that's much more awesome than watching tutorial. I've watched so many tutorials and created so much less, so I feel sad about it. So, but no worries, no worries, no worries. Oh, it was good. So we covered some stuff. I know we could not cover full in detail. I was planning to make separate live streams just to cover one specific thing, but we started this bootcamp, and that take a lot of time, and I have other things also. So we, if it's still not clear, and you can get your Unreal thing, and we can later on look at your Unreal project, and we can do it there as well. Or you can share your mesh or your issue, as feedback session is always open, and next time you can ask it there as well. Okay. And as always, guys, thank you very much for joining in. And if you can share it with your friends, and you can watch a one video a day, really support me to reach to the next milestone of this channel. So that I will really appreciate if you can. Otherwise, you guys are doing a really great job showing up every time when we do the live stream. Uh, really motivate me to do it more often also. So yeah, thank you very much for being here, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.